Hello everyone. Today I have a message called When You Stop. Beginning with let the personhood adjust to what you are. So what comes forward there is you can feel the tension of, and when I say you, I know I explain this all the time, but just in case, you can apply it to you if it resonates, but the message is coming through me and the message is for me. So I am offering it to you in case it resonates, but really the you is me. So this is the explanation I'm getting for the statement I received, and then I can take it in, let it soak in, let it affect my day, my life. Okay, so let the personhood adjust to what you are. So we're all the same big, vast, beautiful thing together. And sometimes you can feel, I can feel, the stress or tension of attempting to adjust the personhood. There seems to be one in here in our mind who thinks that has to be in charge of the personhood. And the personhood needs to show up this way, and it can't show up that way. Yes, it needs to show up this way, or it wants to be more like this, and no, it can't show up that way. And there's this inner person who's tweaking or adjusting the personhood. Adjusting the personhood. Okay. But what's being offered to me instead is there's the personhood. It's a tool. As long as you're in this stream and you're seeing other persons out there and nobody's really a person, the person's like the mask. But let it be a tool that Spirit uses, that the love you all are together uses to demonstrate to all of you how much you are cherished and loved and how loving you are as beings. So this would be the personhood of others that upon which I look to. Ego would give me all sorts of positive and negative judgment statements about the persons, but allowing the personhood to adjust, to be used as a tool to demonstrate to me how beautiful you are, how loved you are, how cherished you are, how softly yet powerfully upheld and carried you are, and everything that's true of you is true of me. So I can look at personhood in this way, that it's a tool, and I'm kind of looking at like people fine-tuning instruments. I'm seeing an eye doctor, whatever it is they use. I don't know. Just I'm seeing the fine-tuning of things. And what we perceive can be fine-tuned, whether we think we're perceiving within someone else, on a surface of someone else, within us, on the surface of what we call ourselves. All of that, all of perception can be fine-tuned to reflect back the beautiful, beautiful truth of us. We are worthy, all of us together. It's one worthiness. Our being, what we truly are, is sane. Profoundly sane forever. Isn't that a beautiful shore to rest, to wash up on and to rest there? The being of everyone is profoundly sane. There isn't anyone who in their being is crazy. The persons can appear crazy, and the ego will begin to send us very quickly a lot of up and down judgments about that. But the being, it's shared and it's sane. And so the invitation here is personhood. Whatever you encounter in person form today, which is not you, and it's not truly that other, it's like a hat we're wearing, just allow it to be used by the power, the beautiful, loving power that we all share. And so however you're going to see it, the beautiful, loving power from whence we spring will be in charge of how we see that. The personhood is a tool. It's adjustable. I keep seeing these adjustments like the eye doctor, the vision, I guess. Let someone you perceive as not you, much bigger and faster than you, do all the fine-tuning and adjusting so you can see and you can enjoy and you can celebrate. Okay, there are certain thoughts that seem to be deeply sacred to your perceived separate personhood, that's where we still feel bad, where we're irritated, where we haven't, or burdened. Things are coming to mind. Experiences I had yesterday, so I keep adding things. Where I haven't let Spirit in to do that fine-tuning and adjusting of how I see things, how I experience things. So there are still areas in my mind that I've, you know how people block off a road with those like sawhorse type things? That's what I'm seeing in my mind. I've said, enter not here, Spirit. I need this to be me. I'll disappear if I don't have what's left of me. So you're not allowed in here. And I can smile at that right now. Yesterday when I was irritated, I had the awareness like, whoa, this is really something I need to snap out of. But I was so intent on feeling burdened. And that was an interesting thing to see too. I was intent upon feeling burdened. I was intent upon finding the problem in another person. And I talked myself out of it just a little, just broadly, conceptually. But it wasn't till this morning that it all started washing in, how I could see everyone. And whoa, what a lightning, what a beautiful, lightning like lightning in a storm, but I meant lightening. What a beautiful thing. And I feel like it can come much more quickly. And not only that, I don't need to run into these pockets of feeling burdened by someone. If my mind has been healed, that's not even going to happen. So to let Spirit, the light, our profound and shared sanity wash inward in my mind. I feel it's like the ocean going in and out, and I let it go in a little bit further every time and just wash away these barriers that I've set up to try to keep God out, keep Holy Spirit out, keep my brother Jesus out. And that always makes me laugh because he's always here. And often unacknowledged. He's deeply powerful, deeply helpful. I must have way too much fear to see an image of him, to see him like as a person in a room, which anybody can. Jesus can appear, right? That's never appeared for me. And I don't know what to say about it. I think maybe I'm just called to talk about it, just to look at all the flexible possibilities of how our brother Jesus can be helpful to us, and to see there really isn't anything to fear. And that's just one thing. When I mentioned you could see him physically, like he's right there in the room with you and he can talk to you. But he'll come to you in the best way that he can. And for me, it's in the form of ideas. At the same time, though, I'm seeing this washing back and forth, and I'm seeing just all the different possibilities for how he can be helpful to all of us, and just sort of opening up to all those different ways he can be helpful. I think that's enough for now on that. I'm trying to see, like, how far should I sort of tap on these boundaries and barriers and sit here with it. Okay. Is there any more to say on this? There are certain thoughts that seem to be deeply sacred to your perceived as separate personhood. Yes. And I'm starting to see them. I'm just thinking if I can express any of them in a sentence, these like sacred truths of separate personhood. And I mean, one of them is people can do something to impede me, to burden me, to limit me. That's a sacred truth of separate personhood. And when you set down the ritual and the ceremony of the of the sacred truths of separate personhood, then something gets a chance to wash in and wash out. And it always brings joy and lightness and relief that you can follow like a child. You can be shown very clearly. You can follow like a child, and you can see everybody's beautiful, because it's not your job anymore to see people as potential threats. Okay, let's see. It is far more important to offer miracles than it is to seem to get something in time and space. So we can feel that energy of needing to get. And I participate in a Unity Church, and I'm working with someone on a candle lighting service for this Sunday. And I had the perspective that I needed to get volunteers. There are these 12 candles that needed to be lit, and we thought it's a nice idea to include as many people as possible and to have participants. So that's a nice idea. But then it goes to, well, now I need to get volunteers. And that was a funny thing to feel the intensity of, and to start to learn to know, once you've given yourself a job and you cut the Holy Spirit out of it, it's probably not such a good idea. If it just feels like you having to go out there and get and procure, I can see now I cut the Holy Spirit out of it, and everything's fine. I did find volunteers, but how it felt when I believed I needed to get, it felt not good. It felt definitely not good, and I was clinging to some sacred truths of separate personhood. So now those get to float up to the surface, and they can be let go. Okay. So offering miracles. If I'm having a problem with someone and I'm focused on that, or with a situation, and I'm focused on that, I'm not focusing on miracles. Miracles are transformative. Miracles show the way. Miracles, do I want to say, kind of detach you from your old stuck and rigid foundation? Or do you kind of have to detach yourself a little bit to allow the miracle? Maybe we show the willingness to be detached from our old stubborn, I know, rigid foundation, and the miracle can come in and carry us and wash us off it. Now, the ego likes stiff, rigid foundations to stand on and be right about things and know what's going on. So when the miracle comes in and sort of softly washes, you're floating on the water. Let's say you're a flower floating on the water. You're good. You can float. You're good. You don't need to stand on a rock. It's okay if the miracle comes in and washes back and forth and erases your previous conceptions, rigid, strict conceptions about how people are and aren't, or how things should or shouldn't be. It's okay to let that washing come in back and forth, and you're just this flower floating on the water. You're good. It's all good. And in every situation in which we feel that stiffness and the rigidity of having decided something went wrong, someone's deficient, there isn't enough here, something like that, in every situation, that soft washing can come in. It has to be invited, because I can stand on my ground and stomp my feet and say how things are and aren't, and that feels terrible, and it's really starting to feel silly. But these situations that we move through can trigger us, and then we can see, oh, here's where I'm still attached. I hadn't let myself see it. I couldn't even have experienced a situation this way if I weren't attached, thinking I needed what the ego could offer me, which is separate definitions and a sense of separate control. And it really is okay to let go and let everything flow and let everything work out. Yesterday I was focused on, from A Course in Miracles, miracles mirror God's eternal love. To offer them is to remember Him, and through His memory to save the world. So that was such a beautiful invitation anytime I started feeling any tension around anyone, to remember that everything we look upon can become a mirror of God's eternal love, and we can offer them. We can open up, we can find the willingness to change the way we see things, and that opens the way for the miracle. And everything can get a lot easier. So when we're thinking of someone in mind to mind, we can offer a miracle. Think of your arm extending outward, you're offering. and that's remembering God. That's resting in God and remembering God. And then allowing everything to be put right or to come easily. Or in the world you see, allowing the world you see to reflect back to you. God loves everyone. Everyone is provided for. Everyone is uplifted. Everyone is supported. And spending time in this space, then we don't have to struggle so hard with what seem like the details of time and space, and we certainly don't have to go out there and judge positively or negatively. Positively in the sense of the same positive that all of us share, I have found to be a very steady and reliable guide. But once I start to idolize someone or something, I'm sure I do this with food. I'm laughing just thinking about it. That just popped into mind. And Spirit's doing his own work with me on food. But I lost my train of thought. Once we start to idolize someone or something, we've broken the connection with everyone and everything. So what seems to be so important is to not idolize or demonize anyone or anything, because the up-down facets of the drama are what we wanted to see, the strife and conflict originally. And now when we have the willingness to let everything be put back the way it was, really nothing ever changed. But the miracles come in and basically show us what we thought happened never happened. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Everybody's cared for. And so we allow these miracles to come in and show us that. Okay, the ego. The ego wants to be attacked with positivity or negativity. And it's so interesting to see. If somebody comes at you with special positivity, can you feel how your ego fights it a little? But what it fights love, and it wants attack. So your ego sometimes really wants the recognition and the praise. It wants to be attacked with positivity. It wants to be recognized as like, I am the self of this one. This separate identity, I am the self of this one, and I need praise, right? I need someone to notice me. I need praise. I need recognition. I need a separate position amongst all the other separate ones that I like and I consider to be good enough. That's the ego. It wants to be attacked with positivity. And also, it's afraid of love. Okay. And then it also wants to be attacked with negativity. And the ego would say, no, I don't want to be attacked. That's the face of innocence. But if it wants to be attacked with positivity, it similarly wants its separate identity, and it wants to be separated from you with conflict and strife. Like, I am better at this than the other person. I am worse at this than the other person. All the ways we divide each other and see each other as different. And I'm not sure I'm making the point very well at how the ego wants to be attacked with negativity, but let's give the example of someone's having an argument or a heated, spirited discussion, and you want to interject. You want to tell everybody what's right. So kind of like an argument is an attacking back and forth, and you want to put yourself in it and be part of it. And that's not a very good example either. I think I'm really not seeing this very clearly in my own life, so I can't give you great examples. But I am seeing the general concept and agreeing, like, yes, it wants to be attacked. And in excuse me, A Course in Miracles, the wish to be unfairly treated, that covers that. You want to be unfairly treated. It preserves your separate identity. And then you have a position amongst all the separate ones. And there's this one who's right, and this one who's wrong, and this one who's better, and this one who's worse. And all of that is a huge lie about all of us. All of time and space is a huge lie about all of us because of all the difference and the conflict, the strife, and don't forget the death and the illness and the injury. All of that is a huge lie about the beingness of all of us. So just seeing, and it would never do for me to look at another ego and say, to my friend, hey, you want to be attacked with positivity. Hey, did you know that you want to be attacked with negativity? I can share my experience. If they resonate, they do, and that's fine. But if I'm looking at them and analyzing them, no go. It's not going to work. I'm not offering them the miracle. I'm looking at their separate self and analyzing it instead of seeing them as they are. But in my own experience, when I don't feel good, I am making the ego real to me, both the ego I made for myself and the ego I made for you. So that's where the concept, the ego wants to be attacked with positivity or negativity, helps. When I don't feel good, I can take a look at that and I have a small willingness to be helped by Jesus, by Holy Spirit, by the beauty and the light of all my brothers and sisters, by everything around me. That's when I should take that statement and use it, when I can apply it to my experience. And then if someone comes to me and wants to talk about these issues, we can do it. But I'm never supposed to take this idea of wanting to be attacked with positivity or negativity and tell somebody that's what's going on with them. My job is to see their holiness, their sanity, their innocence. My job is to offer miracles, and it is not to categorize, and it is not to judge, and it is not to analyze characters. Not at all. Okay, it doesn't matter what comes up when you stop to look at ego. It has been acting through the body, and then you shut down operations to stop and look at it. This is, I've found, to be so powerful. And our ability to stop, to shut down operations, to shut down the flow of thought, to just stop. Before, what came through me one day was stop-opportunity. You just stop when you don't feel good, and you point the finger back at you, not to accuse you, okay, but just to remind yourself, everything I see is coming from my mind. And truly, we share one mind, but it seems we have these different cubicles with your mind and my mind. And the further I go along with this, the funnier it is, because I can feel throughout the day how connected we are. And when there's a problem with one of us, any of us can resolve it. I feel like I shouldn't go too far down that road, though, but I am feeling that every day and getting opportunities to stop and allow a resolution. So it doesn't matter. When you stop and you don't feel good, it does not matter what comes up. Let's say it's a murderous thought. The thoughts I've been encountering, which are shocking, is when I see a driver on the road who looks reckless. They look visually reckless to me. I have come to see that I have a belief that guy's going to get into an accident. And it's almost like I want it to happen. It's hard to describe. It's not like that exact thought came to me, but it's like I see this car having an accident. I'm like, my gosh, do I want that to happen? Of course not. But I've finally come to see, like, the judgment of that driver then predicts and visualizes an accident happening. And so it doesn't matter how horrible it is when you stop. You're in traffic, you're driving, but you realize you felt this bad feeling when you see this driver zipping in and out of lanes, and it seems like they're obnoxious, right? And the thought that comes up is more of an image. It's already gotten to the image stage of seeing a traffic accident in your mind's eye, right? And who would want that? Nobody wants that. You don't want to cause problems for anyone else either. You don't truly want that one to be especially punished. But do we want peace to come to everyone's mind? Do we want harmonic functioning to be with us here on the road? Do we want the joy of the Spirit to flow through all of us and help us function harmonically and with love? Yes, that sounds like sanity. That sounds like what we want. So it doesn't matter if you find something awful. And that's not you. The ego sends us thoughts, and then the thoughts coalesce into images, and then things seem to happen in our world, right? It doesn't matter if it's gotten as far as the image. I reacted to that when I realized, oh my goodness, this is what I've been doing. It's okay. Okay, you start from here. The ego's been acting through the body, acting as you, this character. When you don't feel good, ego, this entity you invented to give you thoughts and to see a world of conflict and strife ending in death, bad idea. I know we had a very, very bad idea at which we forgot to laugh. And now we've got this. And that's okay because we're given a way through and out of it. Okay, so when we don't feel good, ego's acting through the body, managing the character. What we can do, our true self, not ego, not this is AI, okay? Don't worry about AI out there. What I'm describing is AI, okay? And now we're seeing a clear reflection of it. It can't hurt us. It's a very helpful mirror. That's probably the topic for a whole other discussion. But the ego has been acting using the body as its instrument. The body's neutral. It can be given to spirit to use as a communication device. It can be given to ego to use to prove its point about conflict ending in death. That's really all it can do. That's all it can do. So when we shut down operations because we noticed a bad feeling and then we find the thought associated with the feeling, or maybe you find an image in your mind instead, it's okay if it's a terrible thought or a terrible image according to judgment, right? It's just more judgment. But I've had this cycle of reactiveness to, oh, holy crap, what is happening? And then I have to get over that too. You look at it, you just look at it, and then you set it down. And sometimes with a very intrusive thought, there was a period not so long ago, like maybe during the spring and summer, where every single day for a period of time, I would believe I was going to die, like physically die that day. And it was absolutely terrible. But I knew I had to keep letting it come up. And then I could see the addiction to death. Ego is an addiction to death. My own death. Forget about everybody else, It seems to be you attack out there first and then the attack comes back at you. But my goodness. And just working and working and working with that. And that was horrible too. But when you stop operations, you stop the mind, you stop your action if you can. But I was still driving on the road, You do your functions as you have to. But there's a little space to stop and look and find the thought. And then you can set it down. And if it's an intrusive, repeating thought, you might need repeating sessions of setting it down in different forms again and again and again. For me, with the fear of death, which I wouldn't say is completely gone, but that intensity that came up, it did pass. So that was maybe 6 months of that. And I know it sounds horrible, but my experience is when you stop to look at the horribleness in your mind that you accepted in order to have, this is long, sorry everybody, I'm almost done, I think. This is the last statement. You have accepted it in order to have this experience of strife ending in death, craziness, but yeah, that's why we originally came here. Then my outer life seemed to accommodate that. Okay, so I didn't have slings and arrows coming at me from all over the place. What I had was spaciousness to practice this. I'm not saying I didn't have any problems ever. I'm saying I had come along far enough in my practice to be able to really devote the time and energy to looking within and seeing the horrible within. And I just had a conversation with somebody about this yesterday, so thank you. If you ever end up listening to this, I think that conversation definitely helped this come up today. You helped that come up in my mind so I could talk about it. So when you realize the horrible is in your mind, you are not surprised. I read about a murder today, and I wasn't surprised or shocked, and I didn't think it was horrible. And that it's not because I'm a monster, it's because you can see the horror really did originate in my mind. And I really have been seeing reflections of the horror in my mind. And my job is to get to work on allowing the healing. And reactivity, like over the top reactivity to, oh, it's such a horrible thing, horrible things can come and get us, that seems to have drained away. Because I know I just have to get to work. And I know how important it is to, every time I don't feel good, to reorient and to fall into that softness and that happiness. Why wouldn't you want to fall into happiness? But it seems to take practice for a while to learn where your happiness is within, to learn how to fall into it and stay in it. And then to remember to respond quickly and appropriately when you've left it. And to understand that everything that seems to be going on out there, it's the outward picture of an inward condition. And our inward condition can be healed. So rather than extensive reaction to and commentary upon what is out there, it's just like, get to work. Your life today will show you by your feeling what it is you need to work on. And when you work on that, and of course this you is me, this is for me. When you work on that, then you allow the healing, and that healing helps everyone in that landscape you see out there. You help you help them, you help them, you help you, because through the day, whenever you think of them, get your mind right. If you don't feel good, your mind's not right, right? We learn to orient away from the wrong-mindedness of our AI that we invented, the ego, to the right-mindedness of our spirit, which is shared, which is sane, which is joyful, which is powerful. So we have so much on our side, and everything that seems to be against us is imaginary, 100% of it. And we ourselves, or I myself, imagined it. So we don't actually have an enemy, but we have a powerful mind with a powerful imagination. And we have become quite skilled at imagining the enemy everywhere. And now's the time when we allow our very confused mind to be healed. So here's the celebration for us all. Okay. So it was called When You Stop. And today we have so many opportunities to stop and reorient toward miracles. I don't know if I've shared this today, but what I'm focusing on is the lesson, maybe it's 351 in A Course in Miracles. My sinful brother is my guide to peace. No, sorry, that's wrong. My sinless brother is my guide to peace. My sinful brother is my guide to pain, and which I choose to see I will behold. So recognizing many times today that you literally have the choice which brother you choose to see, the sinlessness of their being, or the sinful, some analysis of their person, body, past. All right, I think that's it. Thank you.